Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 47 of our slow and immersive playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. We are playing on Honor mode as duo Githyanki characters, Talquare, our level 7 fighter Eldritch Knight, and Lae'zel, level 7 fighter Battle Master. They are friends and romantic partners. They have stuck it out so far and we're well into Act 2. We've entered the Moonrise Towers, as you can see in the previous episode. Met Catherick, Storm, and Zrel. Toyed with these goblins for a sec, and which, just brought us just over the line for level 8, in fact, which we are. Now, I did leave the previous episode thinking I won't record, but I decided to. I have time today, and I will record, and I've done a bit of theorizing on the level up, and here's what I've come up with. It's just going to be a little complicated. It's probably going to take 10, 15, 20 minutes. But let's go with Lae'zel first, right? She is, I think, a simpler case. Level 8, well, actually, no, she's not really all that much simpler case. Yeah, there's basically a few things we gotta do. So here, we go 60 to 68 HP, we're level 8, Battle Master, we have a new feat. Now, so far, we have taken, since we've gotten Lae'zel, we respect her a little bit, just to round out the stats. Again, I don't know who at Larian created these custom origin characters. I don't know if they were under influence of anything when they did, but they're really weird. I don't know. I never figured it out. So we respect, I think, dexterity and constitution. Got a bit of wisdom rounds, but overall, I think it follows her theme: low charisma. Also, when it's 8, right? She's pretty rash, very much Githyanki. I don't think she really cares about her charisma. That's her. We then we started with 17 strength. She does have heavy armor master, right? Strength increased by 1. That's how we got to 18 strength. Incoming damage from non-magical attacks also decreases by 3 while you're wearing heavy armor. So that was kind of the best choice, we thought, and I think that worked out really well for us. She's got the heavy armor, she wears it like a sleeve. She's still kind of that mobile Githyanki character. I feel that fits thematically really, really well with her. Doesn't have that as much AC as Talquare, especially, even if we don't consider Talquare's spells, because he is currently on 22 AC, I believe, if not 23. She's on 20, but Talquare has shield, and he has 4 of those, and we saw in the previous couple of episodes that helped us a lot, so that's effectively plus 5 AC. Talquare also has, in theory, he could get, with level 2 spell slots, Mirror Image and Blur. Arguably, Lae'zel could get that from scrolls, and maybe there's I'm pretty sure there is rings and stuff. But that's sort of beside the point, right? She's a little bit, she's a little bit less tanky. She'll get hit more often, so it's fine. We're actually even fine with that, exchanging some items in favor of less tankiness, because every time she gets hit, it matters less, right? Because together with the great adamantine scale mail she's wearing, we're reducing everything, all damage, so non-magical damage by 5 for each attack. That's huge, right? And non-magical by 2. Magical, I think, by 2, something like that. But wait, so we get reduction. Thematically, it fits really well. The next one we took was ability improvement and got our strength up to 20. That's level 6. We're now up to level 8, and I feel it's time to go on the offense, right? I think our choices, Alert, you guys are going to tell me again. Yes, Alert is awesome. Yes, it's kind of awesome, but it's not that awesome, I think. We do have now the Elixir of Vigilance. It has helped us a lot in the previous episode. Does it help us a lot? It did help us a lot. In fact, the more I think about this feat, it's the plus 5 initiative that frankly matters more than the Can't Be Surprised. Originally, I thought, okay, you don't really get surprised that often, but the plus 5 initiative and being able to dish out that damage early on is really valuable. However, you can get that through dex and other items. So her initiative is already it's not bad. And we often roll top initiative or in the middle. And if she has to tank it like a few turns, it's not the end of the world. So I feel like this isn't necessary, strictly speaking. Right? She can tank. She's wearing the Periapt of Wound Closure, so when she's down, she will stabilize, and also she restores full health points. And she's got the ring. When we heal, we gain 1 die 4 to attack rolls and saving throws for 2 turns, so we get Bless. So I feel, still, Alert on Lae'zel, I'd rather replace it with elixirs. I will look for them, we will buy them, but it's a whole feat. I still feel it's situational. Ability improvement, possible. We could get our constitution up a little bit. We can't go Well, could even get our dexterity up, get that initiative up, but other than that, other than initiative and saving throws, it doesn't really give us much else, right? Because we're heavy armor again. We don't even get any dexterity bonus, even if we went down to medium armor later on, if we did find something better. Although, to be honest, I can't conceive of anything better for the because adamantine armor blocks critical hits, which is huge for honor mode. So, yeah, no, I mean, wisdom, arguably we could get this a +1. Wait, I'm actually surprised. Why don't we get... okay, I think right now it's not taking into account her items. But she is getting a +1 to all of these from her cloak. So I think the real choices are, what's left is the Great Weapon Master or Savage Attacker, right? Now, with Savage Attacker, when making melee attacks, you roll your damage dice twice and use the highest result. Basically, that means every time we hit, and we're gonna hit a lot, right? We already hit twice on our normal attack, and in not too distant future, we'll hit 3, plus Action Surge, we could potentially hit 4 to 6 times on the Alpha Strike, which is important. And Savage Attacker will roll every time. It's only melee, so it doesn't apply to bows, unfortunately, right? But every time she melees, we're gonna get that just... And her range of her rolls are pretty wide right now, right? Now, I'm actually not sure if that applies to, like, the 1 to 4 psychic damage, or, like, the fire damage. Let me see. Savage Attacker, melee weapons attacks, you roll damage twice. Curious whether, for example, from our gloves, that add 1 die for fire, would Savage Attacker extend to that? I'm not sure, but I didn't even investigate because I do think Great Weapon Master at this point, like, I still maintain that I don't think we should have picked it earlier, but I think at this point, right, if we get Great Weapon Master now that we have 20 strength and we're tanky enough, and importantly we have that bless, I think we can go with this. And let's see what this does. When you land a critical hit, it doesn't really happen that often, although the more attacks you do, even with a 5% chance, the more we'll benefit from this. Maybe we'll find some items. I know there definitely are items. Things we kind of have our items kind of occupied. I mean, arguably gloves we could change. Maybe the headband. Yeah, the helmet we could potentially change. Sort of, yeah, maybe. There's a few items that, if we could find it in boots or gloves or something like a helmet that could lower our critical hit chance, a critical hit like roll number, we could make this even stronger. But even now, with even 5%, it will be a time where we roll crits, right? We could also try and set up critical hits with the Talquare by holding, do like hold person or something. That will be enabled very soon. I'll talk about that when we level up Talquare. But right now, when you land a critical hit, fine, or kill a target with a melee weapon attack, which we very much can engineer together with Talquare. He does decent damage. He will throw his trident, get people low, and then he will stack them up and she will knock them down. So with that, you can make another melee weapon attack as a bonus action. Now, Lae'zel's bonus action will often be used to heal, because we need to activate that the bless. But she does heal, and she heals from maximum HP, so she's very good at using those healing potions. Just really loving that synergy between the Periapt and the heavy armor. Like, we're actually very tanky. Our AC is only 20, but we get reduced damage and we heal it up. But whenever we don't use that, or at least as an option, we can make another attack. I don't know, to be honest, if extra attack extends to this, which you're gonna have to experiment. I hope it does. If it does, I mean, that's just crazy. But even one extra attack for us, that's a good, 10 to 20 damage. Like, I think we rarely do less than 10 now. But we could do 20, maybe 30. Opportunity for another crit, very valuable. Attacks with melee weapons you're proficient with and are wielding in both hands can deal an additional 10 damage. I'm pretty sure we've set now on a great sword now, right? We kind of figured out the character, and I think that fits her really well. I'll be loving this Githyanki sword. It's just bad ass, right? Attacks with melee weapons you're proficient with, you're wielding both hands, can deal an additional 10 damage at the cost of -5 attack penalty. The -5 is not great. Like, her chance to hit isn't always very high, especially against bosses where, like, arguably damage matters the most. However, again, healing, she's gonna take damage, she's gonna heal, She's going to get Bless, and that's 1 die 4. So it will negate at least one of that. So we'll always be with -4 if we play this right? And arguably with the -1, right? Which is just 5% if we get the roll of 4 on the Bless. Expected value will be like -2, -3. So we'll be 10 to 15% less likely to hit. But it is 10 damage. And I've thought about this through very quickly. So let's say if we're at 90% to hit and we do 4 attacks and we do Savage Attacker, right? We do 4 attacks, let's say with Action Surge, 4 attacks with Savage Attacker. We're going to roll that damage up every time. So we'll probably get like, I'd say like 5 increase in damage, right? You're never going to get max damage just because you roll twice. But let's say we get an extra 20 out of those 4 attacks and we know we land them. With Great Weapon Master, let's say that goes down to like 75% from 90, right? You lose that 3. So we, out of the 4 attacks, we should expect to miss 1, right? We'll miss 1, and that means we miss like 20 maybe damage, 15, 20, right? Completely. But on the other 3 attacks that we do hit, we gain, you know, apart from rolling the damage that we would normally roll, we gain plus 30, right? So in my like quick mental maths, I'm pretty sure mathematically, Great Weapon Master actually works better than Savage Attacker. Although Savage Attacker is much more consistent. But I think, you know, just to get that RNG, even if it is a little kind of randomly, a little, you know, brings a bit more randomness, I think for, you know, this Honor Mode YouTube playthrough, I think that works really well. So we want those big hits. It's a duo playthrough. And so we'll go with Great Weapon Master. We will, and I think, you know, at level 12 now, so it'll be a while before we get the next feat. But at level 12, when we're kind of rounding out the character, I think then we get Savage Attacker. Now, arguably, by that time, we're going to do a lot of attacks like Savage Attacker. Still kind of thinking, yeah, by that time, we do so many attacks that kind of curious. I know in my like 4 move calculation, we get, in theory, more with Great Weapon Master. But Savage Attacker, it will be very consistent. But over like 100 throws, I'm not sure who actually does more damage. But I think with Bless, so we're going to have to really start making use of this. I keep forgetting to use this properly. But once we start making use of that, I do think that Great Weapon Master will win out. And we'll see if we can do anything else to improve our attack rolls. But yeah, but a bit of RNG, a bit thematic, a bit kind of... I like it having, you know, less than 95% so that it's not just all mathematical. It's fun to watch, I think, when you have that big hit coming up. Talqueer Aberration Arrow on Marcus. Yeah, those big hits that, you know, big hits that you really want to happen. When they do happen, you love it. And when they don't happen, you still love it. So let's go with that. Let's go with Great Weapon Master. Yeah, both. Now, this gentleman, two issues, and we are strength 18. I think for a feat, it's pretty clear. Now, just for those who, you know, may be joining us late to the party, we did go with Tavern Brawler at level 4. That's what gave us 18 strength and let us throw things around. We did get Resilient at level 6 so that we could protect ourselves from any, you know, control, fear, all of that stuff. So our saving throws are actually really good now. Yeah, this doesn't display. We're also wearing Headband of Intellect, so this is actually 17. Yeah, so the problem here, I mean, I'm thinking we go 20 strength, but you'll see I'm actually thinking of respecing this. So for now, let's say strength 20. Let's say strength 20, right? Which does what for us? I mean, more attack chance. We're already, though, with the throws, we are already, you know, very, you know, we have +1 to attack now, but with Tavern Brawler we get +2. But for damage with Tavern Brawler we also get +2, so we're much more likely to hit. Although, I mean, honestly, we hit with 95% accuracy. I really feel Tavern Brawler should be tweaked a little bit, because you're super accurate and you do a lot of damage. It's like once you get this, you should do nothing except throw, and that's not really the way I intended this. I intended this just to synergize a little bit with Eldritch Knight, so that, you know, we throw sometimes. But I mean, it's fine, but kind of somewhat unfortunately, I think, like the character turned into a complete, you know, thrower. But it's fine. It's working out. I kind of get it. I think it looks cool. It's alright. Not too much against it. Now, resilient, I like that. What I don't like is I'm kind of trying to recall. Did we never round out the wisdom? Maybe we actually did. I guess we were 11 when we respec, maybe. Oh yeah, we took one from Ethel's hair. Yeah, that's right. So we currently have 12 wisdom, actually. Well, once we pick resilient. So that works out fine for us. Rounds out the character. And in terms of choices, I mean, if we didn't go with strength of 20, and we can live with strength 18, to be honest. Again, because of the Tavern Brawler, like, you really don't need to max out strength, I'd say, for an Eldritch Knight. But what do we go with? We could go with an additional 2 in wisdom. That's kind of neither here nor there. I mean, putting 2 in intelligence, but we have the headband, and if we take off the headband, whether we have 10 or 12, doesn't really matter. Charisma, we're doing fine, although we'll talk about that in a little bit. But so it's really about dexterity. We set to 18 from the gloves. So constitution, but we're not the frontline tanker, so very, very questionable. I mean, we are a caster, but the thing is, we have a proficiency with constitution, right? So we don't need an advantage, and we don't really have that many concentration spells anyway. We don't hit that often, and we have good AC, so we could do without Warcaster. Spell Sniper, we don't really hit all that hard. Skill, yeah, I really don't see any other options. To be a Savage Attacker, could do Savage Attacker. We do a lot of attacks just like Lae'zel, but I do feel, I mean, arguably, yeah, we don't really need, to be honest, maybe we go with Savage Attacker, because we don't need the, like, because we don't need the +1 to attack, because we already have +1 to attack from dexterity. We're actually very likely to hit, so he's very, when he hits. With a throw, he hits almost 95%, pretty much always. With melee, he's often 75-80% plus. Arguably Savage Attacker, but it's only melee weapon attack here, so this won't apply to our throws, actually, so no point in that one. Hang on, I'm just gonna pause here for a second, guys. Just need to do something very quickly. And we're back, sorry guys, 1 second. Now we're back. Sorry, forgot my coffee on the table. So yeah, let's get back to this philosophical, deep philosophical discussion now. So yeah, I don't really see Savage Attacker. I mean, we're not melee. That we don't. Yeah, it doesn't apply to our throws, so not really there. Shield Master. Yeah, we don't. Kind of struggling, and I'll talk about this, but yeah, for now let's go strength. But yeah, I won't spend too long on it, because I'll tell you what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking of respecking a little bit. Now here, in terms of spells, also, seems like this never updates. Never updates based on your items, unfortunately. But our DC is actually higher, so our intelligence is actually 17. But here, with the Eldritch Knight, I feel like Blind is the one to go. I do like Blur. Attackers have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Concentration. There is some... it's something you want to concentrate on, kind of thing. We will pass a check when we get hit, because we got good, good saving throws. So it'll be very hard to hit it. Well, we have 23 AC, right? Or 22 or 23. So we're very high AC. They have disadvantage on hitting us. Even when they hit us, we maintain the concentration, right? And we keep blurring ourselves. And so I think the reality of what it will mean when we cast Blur on ourselves is that enemies will almost all prioritize Lae'zel. But I think there's a way we'll get Blur on Lae'zel as well. I think so. And so, I mean, it's a good one. But yeah, maybe Blind is also a good one. Though Blind, the thing is, I don't find Talquare really comes under fire as much. He's always in the back, so Blur for him is maybe a secondary priority. Whereas Blind, we could blind someone from 18 meters away, Well, we do have decent DC, so we should pass that Constitution save. And I think a level up, I think at level 9, we'll get the ability of where if we melee someone, or if we hit someone with a throw even, with like an attack, they get disadvantage. So then we're gonna kind of need to grab a few of these key spells, like Blind and Hold Person, so that we can then help Lae'zel from a distance by, throwing something, hitting someone, getting them disadvantage, then, applying our spell DC, blinding them, and then Lae'zel can take care of the rest of it. So Blur and Blind, very, definitely contenders. Cloud of Daggers, I don't know, everyone, you guys all rage about it, but yes, it's no saving throw. It's so easy. It's not a big AoE. It's a concentration, which fine, we can pass. But it's a small AoE, which I don't like. And you can just get out of it. So you always need two things. You need to get someone on like ice, make them slip, or grease, and then cast Cloud of Daggers on top. And somehow do that all in like good time. And it only applies to one person then. I mean, on a boss, I guess it could work. Yeah, maybe. But you really need to set this up. This is like very situational. Crown of Madness. Instill madness in a humanoid enemy, making them attack the creature closest to them. I feel like this is kind of like... the fact that they run a wisdom saving throw every turn, I really hate how that's done. I feel like if you pass that, because the percentages aren't too high to pass this, and you have to concentrate on it, so you can't do this to multiple enemies. But yeah, not sure. Darkness, we don't really have Devil's Sight, and I find it hard to make use of this properly without Devil's Sight on both characters. Dark Vision, I mean, might as well drink a potion or a scroll. Kind of hate also how the game kind of ruins it for you. I wish maybe that loot was kind of customized, almost like by class, and you'd have like different loot percentage chance to drop. So that if you're not playing casters, you get more of these Dark Vision potions. But if you are a caster, you're kind of forced to use the spell. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but anyway. Detect Thoughts, we even have an amulet with it. Don't think it's necessary. And level 2 spell, we only get like a couple of level 2 spell slots. Enlarge Reduce, again, we could use that with a scroll. We should actually do that once. We should enlarge Lae'zel and just really go to town. Flaming Sphere, nah. Gust of Wind, we really need to push people off. Hold Person, I would like that. Invisibility, a bit like Blur, but I mean, I'd rather get Blur. Knock, not sure. Magic Weapon, we have enough damage and attack rolls. We don't really want to infuse it. Concentration, only +1 as well. Yeah, for level 2, not sure. Enough Acid Arrow, we have spells. Mirror Image, yes, for 10 turns you get 9 AC. To be honest, the biggest benefit of this, I think, is that the AI basically deprioritizes you significantly for those 10 turns, right? Because if I'm going to be 23 plus 9, I'm like 30 AC, it's just basically going to prioritize Lae'zel. So it actually works really well, not because it gives you 9 AC, but because it just kind of basically kind of shields you, deprioritizes you as a target. But that doesn't always work in my experience. Very often the enemies just roll in, and with multi-attack, fine, they'll do like 1-2 attacks. Even non-legendary enemies, right? 2 enemies doing 2 attacks each. That's it. If 3 attacks, your mirror image is gone, and then 1 more attack, just rolls normally. Misty Step we obviously have ourselves, and we have it from an item. We both have 2 Misty Steps each with us and Lae'zel. Phantasmal Force. Really wish this was Phantasmal Killer or something in between. Because 1 to 6, I mean, come on. 1 to 6 every turn. Not a bad one. I like thematically, I like it. Like thematically, I really like it. Deal damage to a creature's turn. The type of damage changed to the last type the creature suffered. I really wish the type of damage. Okay, so it starts with Psychic and then it just continues. I don't know. Enfeeblement, weaken a foe. You have scrolls for this. Scorching Ray, nice, but we do damage with our throws. To be honest, we do more damage with an extra attack than this. Yeah, Web, all of this is kind of meh. Level 1, no reason not to consider these, but I think we already picked everything we want. So let's stick with Blind. Replace spell, there is, arguably, to be honest, these both are not really great choices. Like, Shatter doesn't do all that much damage. Arcane Lock, we still haven't found a way to use it, I feel. But if we did replace it for something, right? What would we replace it for? Blur, yeah, blur. But it's not that we're often like under so much attack, right, that we need blur, right? Cloud of daggers, yeah, it's hold person. Potentially. But for now, I won't do it. Let's just level up, because what I actually was gonna say is that I think I will respec Talquare, and the reason for that is because I noticed that, you know, we actually got this previous level. I thought this comes later down the line, but we have war magic. You have owned your body and magic for war. After you cast a cantrip, you can make a weapon attack using a bonus action, which is great, and you know, I want to make use of the class, but the problem is that at the first level, when I just started this playthrough and picked this character, sorry, level 3, when you pick Eldritch Knight, you get 2 cantrips, and I didn't really know, well, I didn't remember, for whatever reason, that you get this war magic. I thought you get more cantrips, and we will get an additional one at level 10. But I feel like, and we picked Minor Illusion and Friends, which we made great use of both. Now, Friends, have you ever seen, as we discovered how it actually works, kind of really made me annoyed how it works. And we do have guidance to replace that, and we do have now like saving throws and whatnot, so it's not strictly necessary. Now, I know we've, to be honest, made really good use of it, so I hate to change it, but at the same time, I don't want to wait until level 10 until we can actually start playing with this class kind of like to the full. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to respec, and I'm going to give him Ray of Frost, and together with that ring we found that gives us the ability of creating an ice surface of 4.5 meters every time we do cold damage, for example. For cold damage, we'll use that ring, and then at level 10, it kind of as a counterbalance to that, we will pick Friends again. All right, so we'll spend 2 levels without Friends, because, you know, I do like Friends. It can be used. It's hard to use it when you don't know the game very well and you don't know which characters are sort of like disposable in terms of relationships and which are not. So like you saw with like Maul in Last Light In, I mean, if that resulted in a fight, I'd just be annoyed, frankly. I don't like the way it's implemented. But at the same time, I don't want to change the character now that we're so far into the game. But I feel this little exchange right now will benefit us. I mean, we are a duo, so we do need all the damage and all like tricks. And I do want to make actually use of the class, right? Because right now, the war magic, for a whole level, actually, we made no use of this. And arguably, without that ring, there's no point in using it. That ring really makes that cantrip worthwhile. So that's why I'm just going to accept this guy and do that. Now with... and I think, yeah, we will go back to camp and respec. So I think, to be honest, like this episode, I will just release it together with another episode. This is like a level 8 deep dive character respec, and I'll summarize everything in the next episode. But with Lae'zel, sorry, I actually forgot, to be honest. What was I gonna say? With Lae'zel, I also wanted to respec her for some reason. Oh, the reason I wanted to respec with Lae'zel is I just wanted to make a small amendment, which we kind of already made once, I know that. But I wanted to get different maneuvers, and I think I wanted to replace Trip with Disarm. Now that I've realized how powerful it is, I don't want to replace Fainting Attack because that has actually served us in the past. And, you know, my thinking is that if you do respec, that you shouldn't remove things that have helped you to get, you know, as far as in the game as you have, right? And then respec that. I think that's cheating. You know, that's not immersive. Whereas, you know, we haven't really used Trip Attack. We only use it, I think, on Marcus, and only to like really for extra damage more than the actual Trip. Although the Trip also helped us. Trip is a good one, but I feel Disarm in that case, I would have preferred Disarm. We do have one use of Disarm with Talquare, but Disarm with, I think, Lae'zel, this is the one. And I feel like it fits her thematically, and I think for a duo run, again, that will help us. I will pick up Trip Attack again. The reason I picked it the first time is I know it breaks concentration, but you don't really get that many casters. Unfortunately, to be honest, I really feel like there should be more monsters and more like combined arms approach, so to speak, against monsters, whereas it seems like mostly you get like one type of enemy, right? Like they either all melee and just swarm you. You rarely get like, you know, like a melee plus a mage fighting you, or like, you know, 2 melees, 1 archer and a mage. And I feel like I wish that was more of the case. because then you could actually like miss the step, trip them up if they cast something really nasty on you. But yeah, but I feel like we're not using trip attack anyway, so I might as well just respec from, and you know, we're 1 level up now, and just get that. Menacing, I like menacing. I like it mostly, to be honest, for the ranged, because you can stop someone in their tracks, deal good damage, and just kind of just make them stop, and then maybe cast, you know, that same cloud of daggers or something on them, right? So that's kind of a synergy there. So I feel like, unfortunately, we are going to have to respec both characters. Do we even have that much money? Oh, that's interesting. We don't really have that much money. And that costs us 200 gold. Okay. Now, to be honest, one thing we should think about is, first of all, sorry, this is going to be like a cleanup episode sort of thing. But I'm going to go to Last Light Inn quickly with myself.
Place gives me the creeps.
What we need is to loot Marcus, because
alleyways in Baldur's Gate that are plenty worse in their way. Yeah?
we need to mark, because I believe, because I was trying to think, I'm pretty sure in our rogue run we found that ring, but I think he is the guy. I think he's the guy. It has a ring that lets you cast Blur on yourself, which for Lae'zel would be absolutely OP.
They are dead. 2 of us safe to
Yeah, that's his.
I pity you. Truly.
Maybe we should get Talquir and just get her kind of out of here. Because I don't want her to be like, we're doing sin in the area. Okay, but let's... Really? Okay, if she goes to prison... That's life. Yeah, this is that shifting corpus ring. You get invisibility and blur. Absolute, a shiny, deceptively simple band designed to look like those worn by battlefield scouts and city pickpockets alike. Great club, half-plate armor. So I'm gonna take that. Why can't we... Wait, hang on. Why can't we... Yep, let's just run away here. I don't understand. How's that stealing? Like, again, that's just... Sometimes... It annoys me. This game. I hope these guys won't like get too upset about all of this. I'm hoping to exit turn-based mode and go like Last Light Inn. Okay, I don't want to do this quickly. Let's go minimize towers. Hopefully we've avoided any drama at Last Light Inn, but I mean this ring is worth the drama, right? So I'm just gonna send Lae'zel to walk back in while we're looking at her inventory. So yeah, this ring, yeah, it is, yeah, I'm actually surprised we're not using it as rogues, but we need to kind of respect those characters too, to be honest. But look at this, guys. I mean, what do we have? Movement speed +3, that's nice. I mean, we definitely need Whispering Promise, because we've, like I said, with a great weapon master, we've we've really made this an essential part. But 3-meter movement, that is nice, that is nice. But casting Blur on yourself... I mean, to be honest, I like Crusher's Ring. Movement speed +3. But in those really tough fights, in those really tough ones, yeah, she does. Well, she can jump. So like, yeah, I think mobility is no longer really the problem for Lae'zel. I don't think that is the issue. Whereas invisibility, wow, like long rest, yeah. So situational, but whenever we run into real trouble, right? This will be invaluable. So let's go ahead and, I mean, throw, dash, hide. Could probably move hide. Put that down there. Is there anything else we could kind of move? Dash we use a lot. Throw we do use sometimes. Not, to be honest, too often. I should also remember that it's X to throw. But yeah, something like this, I think works out well. Disengage we could use. Help is always kind of there. Shove, arguably, should use more, but that bonus action is almost always better spent elsewhere. So I feel like this is how we do Lae'zel. And then we need to respec her as well. now.
Remember your place, child.
And we need to respect
true
that. I'm a
souls
little bit
stand
afraid
above you,
also
and
that
I above them.
the elixir of vigilance
Your role in her design is to
will
serve
wear off.
those
I think
who
it
bring
will if we
into being.
change your class, because I feel like everything gets renewed when you do that. And I don't like that. I mean, we can live without disarming attack for now, but I think next time we take a long rest, I think we do
In her name.
respect her. We also need to get that gold.
The
With
general
Talquer,
has
though, I would
withdrawn to
really
his
like
chapel
that
above.
cantrip, because
He's
again,
not
like,
to be disturbed.
I feel like we're not really using this to full effect right now. I don't want to lose. Yeah, I don't want to lose all of these bonuses. Yeah, so let's maybe finish this day. I'll record a separate episode.
Ensure that the moon
But that is my
lanterns
thinking.
outside are
Yes, we'll do
maintained
everything the
too.
same. And I guess on Talquer, we do need the Ring of Flinging. Sunwalker's Ring. Yeah, it's nice, but this can be replaced with a spell, right? And the ring I was talking about, when the wearer deals cold damage, they create 4.5 circle of ice around target. Right, and that means we can blast them with a Ray of Frost, reduce their movement speed, make them slip, and then throw things at them still with bonus. That is really strong. And I feel like that's Eldritch. That's the essence of Eldritch Knight, right? Like you throw things, your weapon comes back, right? You kind of blast them, because right now we're kind of like a fighter with situational spells. And yeah, like I said, we'll drop friends in favor of that, and then we'll bring friends back at level 10, so that, you know, we won't make ourselves like OP by bringing, you know, an extra cantrip. And this is kind of, I hate to do this, because friends did really help us so far in this playthrough quite a bit. Oh, arguably. Really in the goblin camp, for example, the Fezark that we just killed, right? That's how we intimidated him. So we got
that the moon lanterns
good amount of
outside
XP,
are
but
maintained
it wasn't
too.
game changing. Like we still would have
The
gotten.
curse
Like I
cannot
don't think
be
it's
allowed
really
to
saved
touch the absolute
saved the
soul.
run. So
It is disciple.
I think it is okay. But yeah, I'll let next time we do long rest, we will respect. But let me know what you guys think. I'll probably cut this episode here. That's the
Remember your
discussion of
place,
level 8.
child.
And
The true souls stand above you, and I above them.
I guess, to be honest, while
Your
we're
role in
here,
her design is to serve those who bring it into being.
maybe I go and try and find that. Maybe I go to the Underdark and try to find that hammer that I sold, which I think is in the Myconid colony. Let me just do that like super quick. I don't think that will like ruin anything, will it? Ugh.
The general has withdrawn to
Okay,
his
it's
chapel
not strictly
above.
necessary
He's
right
not
now,
to be disturbed.
and I'm a little bit afraid. We need that hammer to fight the big guy, the big thing. But I feel like we need a long rest before we do that in any case. So fine, I won't do that now, but I will do that before we fight that
Ensure
big guy.
that the moon
Okay,
lanterns
well,
outside
yeah.
are maintained too.
Thanks for, I guess, joining me in this
Curse
episode. Let me know
cannot
your
be allowed
thoughts,
to
guys,
touch
on
the
level 8
absolute all.
theorizing and
is
respec.
disciple.
I guess it's not done yet. I'll record, you know, another kind of story episode in a moment. But, you know, still, let me know down in the comments what do you think about the respec and the choices for feats.
Remember your
You know,
place,
does this like
child.
completely ruin your immersion?
The
I
true
mean, it kind of,
souls
I don't
stand
like it.
above you,
I don't like
and
it,
I
but
above them.
the part of the fun in
Your
this
role
series
in
is that
her design
as you can see,
is to serve
I don't have like
those who bring it into
100%
being.
great knowledge of the game and the mechanics and how the classes work. So I kind of, you know, discover, you know, maybe half of it, maybe like a quarter of the mechanics as we go along. And Eldritch Knight so far, I kind of hated it when I tried it first. I had a different idea for Githyanki, and I kind of still think maybe that was the better option. But then I went with Eldritch Knight. However, he's really kind of found it difficult because to make use at level 3, you do get spells, you get those cantrips. I guess you do, and the point for me was that you do get that, what is it called? You get that ability, right? Which was lets you bind weapon. That this is what weapon bond. And I kind of thought, well, how do you make use of that? And without Tavern Brawler, you're basically never going to use this. That's what I kind of hate. So you kind of have to take Tavern Brawler. Okay, we have 22 AC, by the way, not 23. Okay, right. The weapon can't be knocked out of your hand. Well, yeah, arguably that is also a big one. But so far, the only time we've been disarmed is by Kithrak Theresin, right, with that fear. And to be honest, it was more because she cast fear on us. And it's the wisdom save that really helped us not to drop our weapon, not the fact... Well, no, actually, we did get feared, right? So we didn't pass the wisdom. We did get feared, but we didn't drop our weapon. Which, again, at the end of the day, it saves you an action. That's really what it does. Because to pick up an item and put it in your hands, that's an action. it could be negated with a potion of speed. It's not great, but it's not debilitating because the enemy don't pick up your weapon. Because I feel like, what would be cool is if you disarm someone, that weapon should like fly some distance away from them, not like be under their feet, so that they have to at least disengage from you as well, so that you then get an opportunity attack if they want to run to that weapon and grab it. Obviously, you can't fling it like 18 meters, but like 6 meters, that would be cool in like a random direction. Could be fun. But anyway, that's not the game works, so that's just wishful thinking. So yes, you could arguably make use of this weapon bond with the not being knocked out. Good, but yeah, and it automatically returns you when thrown. That is the part that's powerful. And that kind of means you have to use a pike or a trident. Trident probably I think is better because you get that disarm with it. You get the rush attack. But because you get Tavern Brawler to make use of thrown weapons and double that damage, you never use these. So it's kind of like, and you have to make this guy into a thrower. Like you have to. Like I really don't see any other way. Like kind of like, and then later on with this war bond, you kind of have to have one cantrip that's damaging, and that I don't mind. I wish I kind of knew that, but what I don't like also is that it's like that synergy. You basically have to think between level 3 and level 7, like 4 levels before you get that synergy. Because if we did get Ray of Frost at level 3, right, fine, we would have forgone friends. I'm okay with that. But arguably, we would never have used Ray of Frost until we found this ring and until we got War Bond. So it's kind of like, now it's viable, but it's 4 levels before it becomes viable. And it's just, I feel like it makes Eldritch Knight a bit difficult. I know he's meant to be a fighter, and I'm okay with him being mostly a fighter with like a little bit of magic to spruce things up. I'm fine with that. But you don't get like it spells like Blur that really makes like a mage fighter. Like, I mean, Burning Hands, arguably. Maybe Thunder Wave. Yeah, but again, like, you never use it. Right, you saw us. We hardly ever use it. Shield, that's a good one. Like that's a very good synergy. I feel like that's like gives it that battle mage vibe. Arcane Missile, Magic Missile, made good use of that. That's a good one. Shatter, to be honest, as a level 2 spell, given how many spell slots you get 3 to 24. It's really not a lot. Like you basically roll in the middle with 3 dice. Again, mathematically, the more dice you have split like that, the more likely you are to roll a mid-roll. So you actually, it's almost certain we're going to roll somewhere between, let's say what the real midpoint is like 11. It's like 11 to 14. That's what we're going to roll almost always. 11 to 14 because, yeah, the more dice you have, the more is the probability that you will roll a middling roll on more of them, and then one of them will either be really low or high, but then that only adds like 2 or 3 either way, so that overall you're always rolling like about sort of like 4, 4, and maybe 8. So it's always like 8, yeah, maybe 16 at most you're gonna roll. Sometimes you roll a 20, but your probability of rolling anything about 20 is like I think less than 5, if not less than 1% mathematically. And so you'll never roll a 3 either, so that's good. But it's basically 10 damage at this point for a level 2 spell. Yes, it's good AoE, so you could hit like 4 or 5 enemies, but like 10 HP over 5 enemies. It's not bad. It's not bad, I guess, yeah. But we need blind. We definitely need hold person, because soon, at level 9, well soon, 12,000 XP in, we will be able to hit someone, give them disadvantage on our spells, and then blast them with blindness, right? And then keep peppering them while Lae'zel is up front there fighting with them, right? They won't be able to fire at us, but they will have disadvantage on attacking Lae'zel because they're blind. And that's 10 turns. And that's not a concentration spell either, alright? Attack rolls against it have advantage. So Lae'zel will have advantage, so she will crit, not even with having critical hit happen on the die 20, which means it's a 1 out of 20 chance, 5%. When you have an advantage, it pretty much doubles your chance. So you'll go up not actually to 10%, but mathematically to 9.75%. But it will double her chance. And if she gets that lowered to 19 somehow through an item, it will go from 10 to 20%. And when you blind someone, Lae'zel will then start critting far more often. Arguably every like 4 attacks, she's very likely to get a crit. And when she crits, she'll get Great Weapon Master. and so on and so forth, right? You see how that goes. We could get hold person instead of arcane lock. I really want to find a good use for it, but I feel like there's probably going to be like one use of it in the whole game, maybe like a couple. But I feel like it's a fun one. I've never actually seen it, never used it myself. Yeah, could have used it there to protect Isabel, but I'm glad we didn't. In the end, yeah, there was multiple doors into that venue. So yeah, that's the thinking, guys. We're up to 4 inspirations, though. I think I've I can't believe I spent an hour talking about a level up, but that's how we are. You know, this will come together with you know, a story episode, which I'll record right now. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think about Eldritch Knight? I think Battle Mass is clearer. What do you think about Eldritch Knights? What do you think about our characters? What do you think about respecing? Don't know. Yeah, I kind of made that decision, I think, already for these characters, but for the future playthroughs, let me know. Do you think this is completely like awful, or if it's kind of like, yeah, all right? Or do you see my reasoning or not? Do you agree? Do you agree with it in terms of immersion? Do you agree with it in terms of you know, efficiency and sort of mechanics? Let me know. You know, I love hearing from you guys. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this one, if you did. And I'll see you in next episode that we're actually gonna do a story, you know, get the story going. Yeah, see you there, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you think. Bye for now.